protein will... That wasn't supposed to happen. So here's the truth. You can lose body fat and keep all of your muscle, but most people screw this up. In today's video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it properly so you don't screw it up. Now, firstly, why should you even listen to me? My name is Max Rogers. I own a coaching company where I've helped over 550 people lose a whole lot of body fat and build a whole lot of muscle. And the truth is, guys, I have done this all wrong myself. So I feel like I'm qualified to help you. Now, I hope you can see this. It's gonna come down to retaining all of your muscle. It's gonna come down to 4 key principles, okay? I'm gonna go over each one and then explain exactly how to break it down on that side. So just bear with me, okay? First things first, we need to lift heavy and we need to lift with intensity, okay? This is so important, guys. A lot of people think when they're in a deficit, it's time to start lifting lighter, start doing circuits, start doing heaps of cardio. All of these things will lead to you losing muscle. Muscle is expensive. You need to give the body a reason to keep it. The way we do this is by lifting hard and heavy. Heavy is all relative to you. Someone's 20 kilos might feel 90% of your maximum, where it might be light for someone else, which is why I've also put intensity there. You want to be training with weights between 3 to 5 times a week. So the sweet spot is probably about 4 times a week, making sure each muscle group is hit twice per week. And I'm going to explain how to do that in a second. And not only are we just lifting heavy, throwing weight around, we're lifting with intensity. Give your body a reason to keep muscle, okay? And we do that by contracting hard and by training very, very hard. This is number one for a reason, okay? The second key principle we need to consider is protein, okay? We need protein to be elevated because protein allows us to hold on to muscle, it allows us to recover from hard training, and most importantly, it allows you to stay full. So we want our protein to be around 1 gram per pound of body weight or 2.2 grams per kilo. If you are massively overweight, you want it to be 1 gram per pound of target body weight. If you're 350 pounds and you weigh 200 pounds, you're having 200 grams of protein. Same thing in kilos, okay? Has a high thermic effect, which means we lose 20% of it through digestion. It keeps you full, it helps regenerate cells, it helps repair muscle. There is no physique without this. Okay, there is no we all know it, okay? The third key principle, okay, is we need a conservative deficit, okay? This could even be up here. This is super important, guys, okay? If we're trying to retain all of our muscle, we don't want to be losing 20 kilos in 10 weeks, okay? You need to be in a moderate or a conservative deficit, losing a small amount of weight per week. How much weight? Around 0.5 to 1% of total body weight per week. If you are 100 kilos, you are losing between 500 grams and a kilo per week. You really, in my opinion, want to push it up to that around that 1%. We need to be careful. If we're losing 1.5 kilos per week, you're going to crash and burn, guys. You're going to do more damage than good, and you're going to end up rebounding, which we're going to talk about. This leads me obviously into Timeframe, my nice wet whiteboard, into Timeframe as well. You need to give yourself enough time. If you have 20 kilos of body fat to lose, don't give yourself 10 weeks to get it off. You need half a year, okay? You need to give yourself a long runway. It's the same thing with cardio. You don't just do an hour of cardio every single day, an hour of training every single day. Don't eat carbohydrates and go out sprinting. With cardio, with your time frame, you need to give yourself enough time so you can make the adjustments along the way, okay? And last but not least, recovery and sleep. These are crucial. Sleep is going to allow you to lift more, which is going to allow you to keep more muscle. The more time you sleep, the less time you eat. It helps with hunger, it helps with hormones. Hunger regulation is a big one, but recovery as well. You're going to be sore, you're not giving your body the fuel it needs. So you're literally having to eat away at reserve energy in a fat loss phase. That is the whole point, okay? You need to sleep, you need to recover, you need your protein, you need to train hard. If you wanted to put it into like an ideal routine, guys, it's gonna look something like this, okay? We're gonna train with weights around 4 times per week. This is male and female, by the way. Every body part hit twice per week, as I said. We're looking at an upper, lower split, or a push-pull legs upper. Everything needs to be hit twice, okay? Don't turn that into a chest one day, arms one day, back one day, legs one day. Don't do all of that. Each muscle group hit twice in a week, so volume is split throughout the week. Cardio. Now, if we're training 4 times a week, we do want to be doing cardio in a fat loss phase, okay? It doesn't eat away at muscle. We're looking at starting at around 4 times 20 minutes, okay? This is all person dependent, but you'd obviously build this up over time. Over time, you might be doing 5:20, 6:20, 7:20s, 25s, 30s, up to anything up to 45 minutes. But this is something with cardio, you always start at the smallest amount possible and build up as you go. Steps, I think it's pretty fair to say we want a kind of an average of 10 to 12,000 per day. If you've got an office job and you do 3,000 steps a day for the last year, you're not going to suddenly start doing 12K just like that. So again, it's person dependent, but ideally, we're looking at burning between 30 and 50 calories per 1,000 steps, 10,000 steps, 300 to 500 calories burnt extra per day. If that's 500, that's an extra 3,500 calories a week, which is an extra pound of fat loss. It's super powerful. The deficit, put yourself into a 15 to 20, I've said 20% deficit here. How do we do that, guys? You go online, macro calculator, body weight calculator, you type all your stats in, age, weight, height, and all this stuff. It's going to give you a reading. From that reading, you're going to pull 20% off. When you get that number, okay, you're then going to go 1 gram of protein per pound. If I'm 200 pounds, I'm having 200 grams of protein, okay? We know that 1 gram of protein has 4 calories in. Fats are going to be 20% of overall calories. So you have if you're 200 pounds, you have your 200 grams. You then look at that overall number, whatever it is, you're then going to take 20% of those overall calories to fats. There is 9 calories in a gram of fat. So once you have protein sorted, you have fat sorted, carbohydrates fill out the remaining calories. Over time, if you need to increase your fat loss rate of change, we want to increase steps, cardio, and lifting in the gym. The last thing we want to do is pull calories down, but eventually it has to be done. A 25% deficit, a 30% deficit, never lower than that. If you've got to do a 30% deficit with all of this just to drop, you're not tracking properly and you're actually eating more food than you think, okay? We do have things like diet breaks and refeeds, okay? So I'm just going to quickly touch on them whilst we're here. If you're massively overweight and you've got to do a 6-month diet, it does make sense after a few months to do a diet break. A diet break would be 1 to 2 weeks where you bring calories from a deficit to maintenance. Obviously, you're not going to gain any body fat, but you're not going to drop, you're just going to hold there. It allows you to have a little bit of a mental reset. There are some good long-term studies to show that it helps with muscle retention as well, especially if you've got 40, 50, 60 kilos to lose, okay? And then you have a refeed, which is going to come in every so often. It comes in when you're absolutely knackered, where your training performance dips, where you're not, don't fall in, where you're not responding to the deficit, things like that, you would bring in a refeed. A refeed is a 24 to 48 hour bump up to maintenance calories just via carbohydrates. Give the body a bit of a break and then you get back into the deficit. So you train Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maintenance calories just by driving carbohydrates up. Again, it's a little bit of a reset and then it gives you a bit of a mental break for Monday to hit it hard again. As you get into the nitty-gritty stages of fat loss, refeeds become really important when you know it's coming at the end of the week. The diet break it's not as common, but it's more so you're dieting all the time, you need a bit of a diet break, okay? I'm not going to go into reverse dieting. I've done loads of videos on this. I'm just going to leave it here. But if you found this video helpful, I am a coach myself. I literally spend my life helping people lose weight. And if you want someone to do all of this for you and hold you accountable, hit the link below. All of my stuff is there. And if not, I'm going to keep making these videos. Thanks for watching.